The Socceroos, backed by the PFA and Football Australia, have made a very powerful statement of protest against the hosts of the upcoming World Cup, less than a month before they head to Qatar. A range of players delivered a video message in which they called for a, quote, effective remedy for issues surrounding the treatment of migrant workers, many of whom died in the construction of stadiums, and those in same-sex relationships.
These migrant workers who have suffered are not just numbers. Like the migrants that have shaped our country and our football, they possess the same courage and determination to build a better life.
As players, we fully support the rights of the LGBTI plus people. But in Qatar, people are not free to love the person that they choose.
Addressing these issues is not easy, and we do not have all the answers.
We stand with FIFPro, the Building and Woodworkers International, and the International Trade Union Confederation, seeking to embed reforms and establish a lasting legacy in Qatar.
This must include establishing a migrant resource centre, effective remedy for those who have been denied their rights, and the decriminalisation of all same-sex relationships.
Australia is one of 32 countries and teams headed for Qatar, but this message is considered one of the most significant demonstrations against the hosts, who were controversially awarded the event and have endured a range of issues ever since. Joining me live is the co-chief executive of the Professional Footballers Association, Beau Busch. Thanks so much for your time. But this is incredible, this video this morning. It's super powerful. How did it all come about? Was this player-led?
Thanks, Louisa. I think ultimately we've been on this journey for about 2.5, 3 years with the players. They've engaged deeply with the migrant workers themselves through FIFPro. They've been able to get a greater understanding of the situation by engaging with Amnesty, to the Supreme Committee, to FIFA. And over the course of that journey, the players have been able to understand more about the situation in relation to human rights in Qatar, and importantly, being able to have access to all of the necessary information to form a view. And today is the product of that process for the last 2.5 years. And I think you're certainly correct to say that the players have led this. They've been incredibly engaged in this process. And I think as union members, what's absolutely critical is the values of respect and dignity in relation to work. They're things that they value deeply, and they're the things that they know are absolutely fundamental to there being a lasting legacy in Qatar after the World Cup final whistle.
Yeah. Beau, what does an effective remedy actually mean? And have you had any kind of response from Qatar yet?
No, we haven't had a response from Qatar. As I said, over the course of this journey, we have engaged with the Supreme Committee and the ILO and others, which are obviously based there in Qatar. So effective remedy is ultimately, if people have been harmed, and it's clear that people have been harmed, that they're able to have access to a genuine process that allows for that remedy, wherever possible, to be in place. So whether that be financial compensation, to restoring their relationship with the sport, but ultimately the sport can't move forward if it doesn't reconcile with the past. And when the World Cup kicks off, what we'd like to see is that those that have been harmed are able to have access to a process that allows for their relationship to be restored with the sport, and every measure possible taken to be able to make sure that right has been wrong to the extent possible.
It strikes me this morning that Australia has become leaders in this sense. Have you had any indication that other countries are going to follow suit? And look, it's essentially a bit of a protest. Is there any indication that there could be more protests?
I think over the last sort of 2.5 years, a range of nations, whether it be the Netherlands, to Norway, to Tim Sparv, the Finnish captain, who's gone regularly to that part of the world. So the players are part of a broader movement. FIFPro, the World Players Association, has really been fundamental to the reforms that have been possible in the region, and continue to work really closely with BWI, which is the Building and Woodworkers International, so the union for workers in that part of the world, and they're working incredibly hard on establishing a migrant resource centre. So the players today have made a really powerful statement, but they are part of a broader movement, and a movement that has been working incredibly hard internationally for the last 2.5 years to bring progress to that part of the world, and a part of the world that many people would have said 3 to 4 years ago was almost impossible.
Beau, thanks so much for your time live there in Uruguay this morning. Appreciate it.